evening from Miller Park, Milwaukee on a Friday night. The St. Louis Cardinals are here, the best team in baseball, 30 games over 500, and a good crowd filing into Miller Park tonight with a little rain falling. Roof is closed up. The Brewers are coming off 3 straight wins. Adam Lind with 3 RBIs last night against the San Diego Padres. The Brewers able to come off the deck to win that series. Meanwhile, Matt Carpenter red hot still, and the Cardinals sitting at the top of the division. And hi everybody, we welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us here tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Some news items first. Kyle Loesch taken out of the starting rotation. He's now in the bullpen, available in the bullpen, and that means Tyler Cravey is going to get his second chance against the St. Louis Cardinals. It's Tyler Cravey on the mound tonight against Lance Lynn. Tell us what we should expect out of Tyler Cravey.
Well, Cravey starting down in the minor leagues, his numbers have been pretty good down there. Earned run average under 4 when you consider he's pitching in Colorado Springs. That's not too bad. A 7-7 record, making start number 3. A tough luck loser against the St. Louis Cardinals in his major league debut. That came back on June 2nd. 7 innings, 1 run. Unfortunately, the Brewers got shut out 1-0 that particular day. Now, Cravey's going to get some opportunities, and the Brewers are hoping that he's going to be added to the list of homegrown starting pitchers, joining Nelson, Peralta, and Taylor Youngman. Cravey, a 17th rounder in 2009, getting a good chance the rest of the way this year.
Yeah, he's been an overachiever at every level. It's going to be a rematch against Lance Lynn, same as he had back on June 2nd. The Brewers have found their offense the last 3 games. Going to keep it going. Chris Davis with 2 3-run homers yesterday. Telly Hughes is with us. He'll break down Davis's offense with Darnell Coles after this.
At Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota, see where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Chris Davis has re-emerged as Crush Davis to close out the series against the Padres with a pair of long balls. Now Chris and the crew will look for that to carry over into their 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everyone. I'm Telly Hughes. Over the last 3 games, Chris Davis has been crushing the ball, batting .500 while collecting a career-high 6 RBIs at the plate yesterday to cap off the series against the Padres. Davis went deep twice to cap off that career day. Chris has put in countless work in the cage, and with more consistent playing time, Davis looks like a different hitter. Brewers hitting coach Darnell Coles has played a big part in that transformation.
This drill is for the simple reason that you want to keep your hands inside the ball so that there's no casting. So again, here, obviously, if you were to do that, you'd hit the screen. So long as you keep your hands inside the ball, it will allow you to be shorter and quicker. Anytime your hands cast out, you're going to be long. So we just got to get that shortened up, and once we get that shortened back up, we'll be good.
Chris will look to see if that consistency can carry over into this series against the Cardinals. I had a chance to catch up with Darnell Coles earlier today, and he said that consistent playing time has played a big part in what Davis has been doing as of late. So we'll see if he can keep it going here tonight. Coming up, it's a big series for the crew as the Cardinals are in town with the best record in baseball. B.A. and Rock will be back with the first pitch and call next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Tonight, Tyler Cravey re-enters the starting rotation. His last start against the Iowa Cubs. He'll get the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Brewers baseball presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Retro Friday here in Milwaukee. 69 degrees. Got some rain in the area. That is why the roof is closed up. Panels are open though, so there's a nice breeze blowing through Miller Park. And we're ready for baseball tonight. Let's give you Mike Matheny's Cardinals batting order, brought to you by Potawatomi, Carpenter, Wong, and Peralta. You got Hayward, Grichuk, and Molina in the middle. Brandon Moss, newcomer to the St. Louis Cardinals. Stephen Piscotty came up when Holiday got injured, and Lance Lynn rounding it out. So a couple of new faces in there. And Tyler Cravey, 3 games in the big leagues, 2 big league starts. One of those was against St. Louis, and it was a terrific start. That was his first, and that was back on June 2nd. And this will be a rematch between Cravey and Lance Lynn here tonight from that June 2nd game. First pitch of the ball game. Matt Carpenter takes up and away we go, partner.
Yeah, Cravey, a 17th rounder in 2009, getting an opportunity. I wonder if he's going to be getting starts consistently the rest of the way, taking the rotation spot of Kyle Loesch, who's now in the bullpen for the Brewers.
In the bullpen and active here tonight. Brewers did make a roster move on the position players side as well. Hector Gomez was sent back to Colorado Springs, and Jason Rogers returns to Milwaukee. So rotating those players, trying to get some at bats for Gomez, and Rogers has been hot and has earned his way back. Possibly we'll see him off the bench, and there's Loesch in a very unfamiliar position down in the bullpen. It's been a long time since Kyle Loesch was in the pen, and there is Rogers.
He certainly gets it, and he's handled it pretty well so far, and you wonder how many opportunities he's going to get. Probably the long man out in that bullpen for Craig Counsell.
Now the Brewers now sport 4 starting pitchers in their 5-man rotation that are all from the farm system. Cravey being the 4th. There's a swing and a miss, and a good way to start the night for Tyler Cravey.
Well, Cravey not overpowering. He relies on command. He's got good sink on his fastball, and there's one that had some tail to it up in the zone off the outside corner. Well, in that first start against the Cardinals, gave up a couple of hits, actually 3 hits in 7 innings. Did an outstanding job keeping runners out of scoring position. Only had runners in scoring position 1 time in the 2nd inning. That's it.
Here's Colton Wong. He takes strike 1. A talented Cardinals second baseman. He's got some pop. He's not a big guy, but he can hit him a long way. 11 home runs on the season. He's driven in 46 runs. Yesterday the Cardinals were in Cincinnati, and they shut out the Reds behind Michael Wacha, and they won the last 2 games of that series to win the series. Colton Wong had a hit. He drove in 2 runs yesterday. He was 1 for 2. Little tapper, and Cravey, that is late. Wong has great speed and able to beat it out for an infield hit.
Now let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menards tonight. You got Davis, Peterson, and Braun in the outfield. Pretty much been the same outfield for a while for Craig Counsell. Guys have been swinging the bats. Elian Herrera at 3rd. Segura and Jeanette up the middle. Adam Lind at 1st. And Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate.
Big day yesterday for Chris Davis. Telly talking with Darnell Coles about his approach and now the playing time. Davis yesterday had 2 home runs. Both of them were 3-run home runs. He drove in 6. He had 3 hits in yesterday's game. Brewers won 10-1 yesterday. Won the final 3 games of that series against San Diego. And Darnell Coles happy to see his offense back intact after they went on a bit of a slide during a 6-game losing streak. But we're able to turn it around, winning the final 3 against San Diego, and now 3 remaining on this homestand with the Cardinals. Johnny Peralta, all-star shortstop, batting 3rd in this Cardinal order. He's had a great year across the board. High batting average, good on-base percentage. He's hit 16 home runs, 55 driven in. Got an OPS over 800 coming into this one. Those are big numbers from the shortstop position.
And no kidding, he's always done well against Milwaukee. The 16 home runs lead the team, and he's tied with Matt Carpenter for the team lead in RBIs.
There goes Wong, and the pitch is outside. Throw to second, right on the bag, and out is Wong. A caught stealing for Lucroy.
Good job by Cravey getting rid of the ball quickly and giving Lucroy a chance. You can't throw it any better than that. Lucroy with a strike down at second base. Not a very good jump by Wong, and Scooter Gennett able to apply the tag and an easy out at second base.
Put out goes 2-4. And 2 outs in the inning. The pitch was called a ball, so it's 2-1. Now make it 2-2 on Peralta. Peralta had the day off yesterday in Cincinnati. And down he goes. Tyler Cravey. He loves the Cardinals so far. Couple of strikeouts in his first inning. Come to the plate against Lance Lynn, and here is Craig Counsell's Potawatomi batting order. Scooter Gennett will lead off, Jonathan Lucroy, then Ryan Braun. Counsell has Lynn, Davis, and Peterson in the middle. Segura, Herrera, and Cravey round it out. And Lance Lynn is on the mound. We mentioned that matchup he had on June 2nd. He got the better of Cravey with 7 shutout in that game. That was a 1-0 win against the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's going along very well, Rock. His ERA is at 2.89, and the strength of the Cardinals is their starting pitching.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they lead the league in earned run average and, allowed the fewest number of runs. Lance Lynn's 289 earned run average. That's good for 12th in the National League, and he has been very good at home. Of course, he's on the road today, but a 215 home earned run average, that's 9th best in the National League, making start number 14 in his career against the Brewers. He's 7-3.
Scooter Gennett will lead off for Milwaukee. Cardinals overall very good at home. They've won 40 games at Busch Stadium. They are 16 games, I beg your pardon. They are 26 games over 500. As that one's fouled off the foot. 24 games. How's my math going right now? The point is, they're 29-23 on the road. They're a little more pedestrian on the road than they are at home. This is a team that is 30 games over 500.
That word pedestrian just makes up for the lack of math skills.
I looked at the wrong line.
Well done.
I apologize.
That's a good comeback.
Gennett at a 1-2 count.
Yeah, Brewers scoring 22 runs in 3 games in the last 3 games of that series against San Diego. Coming off a stretch where they had, 25 runs in 12 games,
yeah,
right?
12, right. Little jam shot out to second base. Colton Wong is there. One second baseman to another. One away here in the first. And that'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, and the Cardinals, Menard's defense. The Cardinals have been pretty average defensively, 62 errors. That's 9th most in the National League. You got Piscotty, the youngster, got a good arm out in the left. Grichuk in center, John Jay on the disabled list, and Hayward in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Brandon Moss. No Adam. Matt Adams is out. Brandon Moss at first, and Yadier Molina behind home plate.
Cardinals had 2 devastating injuries with Matt Adams and Matt Holliday, both with torn quad muscles, very serious quad injuries. And so their lineup does look a little different, and then no John Jay in there either. They've gotten great production from Randall Grichuk, and Piscotty's come up and handled himself well.
And then you add Adam Wainwright after the season. So the Cardinals under a little bit of duress. I mean, injuries, but they continue to win games.
Ball and a strike on Lucroy. 2-1 it goes. And the key injuries for the Cardinals this year, which makes it all that much more impressive that they've been able to play at this pace. 30 games under 500. I think they could play the rest of the year at an even 500 and still win 96 games. Another jam shot. This is Peralta. He's got a long throw. Dug out at first base by Moss. There's the second out.
Yeah, the Cardinals are thinking that Holiday and Adams might be able to come back at the end of September. Maybe ready for the postseason. We'll see, but they're thinking they might. It's been a pretty good job of managing this year for Mike Matheny, given all their injuries.
They remain relatively quiet at the trade deadline. They did acquire Jonathan Broxton from the Brewers, and then they got Moss from the Indians. He was having a good year with Cleveland, at least in the power category. Low batting average, but good power numbers. Here's Braun. Ryan at 273 with 19 home runs. 63 runs batted in. He's still sitting 2 homers shy of tying Robin Yount's home run record as a Brewer. Sitting on 249 career home runs is Braun.
He's got a pretty good right field stroke working right now in this homestand. There's a lot of base hits to right.
Braun was in the lineup yesterday for the day game, was 1 for 3. Walked twice. Scored a couple of runs. Brewers pounded out 10 runs on 14 hits yesterday. And Matt Garza and Michael Blazek, all they needed to get to the finish line on the mound. Garza went 7, just 2 hits and 1 run. Blazek worked the last 2 innings with no hits and no runs, and a good win for Garza, his 6th of the year. And he looks like he's healthy once again.
And Ben Goodson's coming off the disabled list.
2-2 to Braun. Fouls it back.
Gonna be a lot of fastballs to the Brewers from Lance Lynn. That's what he does. He'll four seam it. He'll throw a lot of sinkers. He'll throw a slurvy slider, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you're talking a lot of fastballs from Lance Lynn. Brewers have seen a lot of them. 13 starts, 17 games, so he's worked 4 times out of the bullpen.
That's where the Cardinals had him in 2011. They won the World Series that year, went through Milwaukee to get there, and Lynn was a rookie that season, and he was pitching out of the bullpen, throwing gas out of the bullpen, 97, 98 miles an hour as a starter, and he went back into the starting rotation the following season. He doesn't throw with that kind of velocity, but still has good hump on his fastball in the 92 to 94 range typically. He's been a workhorse for him too, right, Rock? I mean, he's got 33 starts his last 2 years.
Yeah.
Over 200 innings his last 2 years.
He's always been a very fast starter. He's always had great numbers in the month of April. April, the beginning part of May. I mean, tough to beat him then. Then he kind of peters out a little bit. I mean, starts to get a little bit tired.
Braun into right field. And a base hit. That's what you said. He's got a right field stroke going, and Braun just lays the bat out there and now has a 6-game hitting streak going.
They try to get him out inside, but they miss off the inside corner. Then Braun able to just drop the head of the bat on that pitch away and dump it into right.
That'll set up Adam Lind with 2 out. He's in our lows never stop improving tonight. And Adam Lind, over his last 6 games, he's driven in 4. He's got a couple of doubles. And then you saw what he did prior to this little hot streak. He was mired in a long slump. At one point was 0 for 15. But a 478 average over his last 6. And he had a big day yesterday as well. Lind with 3 hits, 3 runs batted in. And
no doubt about the way he can swing the bat. I mean, he is a good pure hitter. Right in the middle of a nice hot streak. The Brewers could use it.
He's taken over as the Brewers RBI leader, one better than Braun. And Braun's hot hitting recently has a lot to do with Lynn's RBIs. Only 3 Brewers drove in runs yesterday, but that produced 10 tallies. Davis, Lind, and Scooter Gennett. And ball 4, he walked him on 4 straight.
Looks like he didn't want him, did he? Trying to be real careful, figuring that he'd like to match up against Chris Davis better, but we talked about Davis, how hot he's been the last few games. Swinging the bats, and one to center, one to right in yesterday's game. Both of them coming with a couple of men on. They're taking that pitch and knocking it on out of here into that Padres bullpen, and then later on into center field. So 2 home runs last night, giving him 9, our Powerball home run count.
And the 6 RBIs for Davis gives him 31 for the year. That regular playing time is starting to pay off. Davis understands it. Telly had an interview before the game with Darnell Coles, and he certainly knows his role. He got injured. Kind of felt like you're swimming upstream after that, trying to put numbers up. He knows he's here to hit. He's a decent outfielder. Tracking balls, does not throw the ball well. He knows why he's in the lineup. And then that knee injury, torn meniscus on the right knee, sat him out for a month. Came back just shy of a month, actually. But he's been hot this month. He's got 7 hits in August. 2 of those are homers, both coming yesterday.
And no coincidence that he's starting to swing the bat when he gets consistent playing time. That's the way it is with a lot of young hitters. Hitters, period. No matter how young you are, or how old you are, if you get the at bats, you're going to be a lot more productive as to when you're in and out of the lineup.
There is that bit of an unwritten rule, this old thought that you cannot lose your starting job to injury. But in this particular case, the way Gerardo Parra was playing, the fact that he was coming up at the end of his contract, Brewers are not in a position to contend. They are sellers at the deadline. All the pieces kind of fit together that Parra was the guy every day. As Lynn goes up the ladder, strikes out Davis to end the inning. Single and a walk. Brewers strand a pair, and we go to the second.
between the Brewers and Cardinals, and Tyler Cravey is making his third big league start. And I had a chance to catch up with Craig Counsell before the game, and he said this is a start that he earned. And you got to go back to June 2nd when Cravey made his major league debut, pitching 7 innings in St. Louis against the Cardinals and only allowing 1 earned run. And he said, yes, that is good in terms of experience against this team, but he has had success at every stop on the minor league levels, and he said that this is something that he has earned. He was the next man up, pitching well, and this is another opportunity for a young arm, and the Brewers a chance to see how this young arm performs at this level, B.A.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Cravey, as Telly mentioned, had a good year going down in AAA. The earned run average at .397. Hayward sends that one deep into right center field. Peterson at the track makes a play for out number 1. Got to take that ERA at AAA a little bit with a grain of salt. Colorado Springs, a very tough place to pitch, so you actually look at those numbers and say those aren't bad.
No.
It was won 7 games. He pitched to a decision in all but 3 of his games, which tells you he's hanging around late in games. And I would imagine after his last start, which was on August 2nd, he's fairly low. He just had given up 6 runs, 3 of them earned. He went just 5 innings against the Iowa Cubs, and that's the way the game can go sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it is, his year down in the minor leagues, he had fewer hits than innings pitched, 92 hits, 95 in the 3rd inning. And he only allowed in Colorado Springs 6 homers. So he keeps the ball down. We've seen that before. Good sinker. He'll cut it. His second start was against the Atlanta Braves. Wasn't quite as good as the one against the Cardinals. 6 innings, 4 runs.
Facing Randall Grichuk, who sends that one in the air, shallow center, and back is Jeanette for the out. 2 up, 2 down. There is something about Cravey that gives hitters fits at the plate. Not quite sure what it is. There's a little bit of deception. He does have long arms. He's got a lot of spin on the baseball. He's got a lot of sinking action on it. When he's right, he'll get ground balls.
And how many starting pitchers actually work from the stretch all the time? I don't remember anybody that does that. He sits up on the first base side of the rubber, working out of the stretch.
Just kind of defines who he is. He's just simple. His mechanics are simple. He's simple. And he's been able to perform at every level to get a chance. Those are great mechanics there.
Yep, high leg kick, bounces nicely on that back leg, and then fires toward home plate. It's kind of a delivery that you would expect to be pretty easy on the arm. Shoulder, elbow.
It's one of the reasons he can command all of his pitches so well. He's got Molina 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Cardinals all-star catcher. Statistically, the Cardinals don't wow you, but they do everything well. You know, they don't have a lot of hitters hitting in the low 200s. They don't have any hitters other than Piscotty hitting over 300. But they do play the small ball game at times. There are more strikeouts in this Cardinals lineup than in years past, but they will move runners, and they're a good fundamental team.
And 9th in runs, are 11th in homers.
Molina lines one just past Herrera. Base hit. Down into the corner it goes. Molina on his way to second with a double.
Barely. He made it, though.
He dropped it down into first gear, about halfway between first and second. Not trying to squeeze any more out of that, was he?
Well, he catches every day. You got to cut him some slack, but he knew that was a double, no more, and kind of put it into cruise control once he hit first base. Just out of the reach of Ilian Herrera and down the left field line.
Just a nice little stroll. I think his home run trot's actually faster than that. So he's at second, 2 outs. Here is Brandon Moss. And the Brewers first look at Moss in a Cardinal uniform. Just his 8th game with St. Louis. Brewer saw Moss with the Indians here at Miller Park earlier this year. He had a great year last year with Oakland. One of his better years. It was an all-star last year. Hit 25 homers with the A's last season. 81 driven in. First all-star team he's made. And he was part of that playoff team. The A's, of course, lost to the Royals, the eventual pennant winners in the wild card game. But Moss was a big part of their offense. Hit for a lot of power.
And they say he's been playing a pretty good first base.
Has 1 RBI for the Cardinals, but it was a walk-off for St. Louis. So his overall numbers there with 15 home runs. He played both games of that series against Milwaukee, was 2 for 9. And Cravey issues a walk. So a 2-out double followed by a walk.
I tried to get him to chase a changeup, and Brandon Moss not biting.
And now Cravey will face the rookie Piscotty. 24-year-old Stephen Piscotty out of Stanford University and a California native. He was the Cardinals' first-round draft pick back in 2012. He is a very highly rated prospect in their system, and now getting a chance here in the big leagues with Matt Holliday out. First ball swinging, he fouls it away.
Man, one of the last of that long line of guys coming up from the minor leagues. Matt Adams and Colton Wong, guys that the Cardinals have brought up. Grichuk. So another guy that has had some good success down in the minor leagues that is swinging the bat well early on. Only 53 plate appearances.
Well, so far through his minor league career, and even at the higher levels of the minor leagues, and then his brief stay here in the big leagues, he's proven to be a bit of a doubles machine. Had 28 doubles in Memphis to go along with 11 homers before his call up. His first 10 games with the Cardinals, he had a hit in each of those 10. Matter of fact, across the first 10 had 14 hits. 41 RBIs, 272 hitter at AAA Memphis in 87 games. And there's a hot ground ball. Jeanette's got it. Throw to second. Segura's there for him. Moss is out. Inning is over. Good play out there by the Keystone combination. 26th, and he gave it up a little bit. 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 earned runs allowed. Chris Davis had an RBI double. Elian Herrera had a good game as well. Slapped that one inside the line.
But he got to win. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He got a loss. Brewers lost the ball game.
Adam Lind with a home run. So the Brewers are hoping to have that kind of success and then turn it into a Milwaukee win. Lynn against the Brewers, career 7-3, 2.53 earned run average. As Shane Peterson keeps on hitting. Base hit to left for Peterson. That extends his hitting streak to 6.
Let me check that game we just saw. Lance Lynn did get the loss in that game. I was looking at the wrong one, but Shane Peterson continues to get the job done. Just continues to hit. Put a good swing on that pitch away. Can't get him out of the lineup, can they?
Peterson had a hit yesterday, hit second yesterday. There's a strike to Segura. The concern with Shane Peterson when they moved him to center field after the trades of Parra and Gomez was his at bats. You're wondering, taking on the burden of center field, a position he had not played, how would he hit? And he knows he's going to have to hit to stay in a regular spot here in the lineup. Well, he's hit .391 since moving over to center field. That's 8 games now. He's got a .391 batting average. His on base percentage is up over .470. So it hasn't affected him at all. He's thriving with the playing time here in the big leagues.
And these young kids that get an opportunity the rest of the way this year, you never know what can happen going into 2016. Got to figure Shane Peterson is going to be in the plans going into spring training next year.
Yeah, you would think.
He's been very impressive. Saw him in spring training. No big deal. I mean, he got some hits, but they didn't pop out at you.
It's always one guy, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's more than one, but there's always one every year that you're not expecting.
Yeah. Kelly Youngman too. I mean, we saw him pitch in spring training. No big deal, right?
I remember this guy in 07. He wore number 75. Played third base, made a lot of errors. Sent him to the minor leagues out of spring training, and he came up in late May, and then he won the Rookie of the Year. Ryan Braun. Segura strikes out. First out of the inning.
A cut fastball for Lance Lynn. It's a good one. Hey, get a one-of-a-kind Bob Uecker bobblehead this Sunday afternoon as the Brewers close out their series against the Cardinals. All fans in attendance get a bobblehead of Mr. Baseball, courtesy of Palermo's Pizza. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com.
Switch hitter Elian Herrera now with Peterson at first. You got the pitcher coming up next. And that's a base hit. Snuck it through the hole. Peterson on his way to third base. The throw comes all the way through, and Peterson is in there. Carpenter looks Herrera back. First and third, 1 out is Elian Herrera with a single.
Fastball down and in, out of the reach of Moss. He was holding the runner. Didn't have a whole lot of range. Just a pretty good throwing arm out there in right field for Hayward. And Peterson got on his horse and is able to get into third base. You got to hustle around the bases if you hit the ball to right field. Good throwing arm out there.
Carpenter did a good job coming in, cutting that ball off before it hit the ground. He knew he didn't have an out, and that chased Herrera back to first. Herrera, if that ball bounces, Herrera's ready to run to second. Instead, first and third for Tyler Cravey. Shows bunt, gets it down. It's a good one. And Peterson will hold his ground. Safe at first. Cravey beat it out.
I'm not sure why Peterson didn't go in that bunt. That was a perfect bunt, and had he took off right away, he would have been able to make it. But I guess since he did not go right away, stay put. Ed Cedar talking to him about that right now, saying, good decision. If you didn't get a good jump, just stay there. That's going to be a base hit for Tyler Cravey.
Matheny wants to look at it. He is asking for a challenge here. And let's see. Yeah, looks like they got him. First base umpire is John Hirschbeck.
Did a little bit of a stutter step before he hit the bag. Had he strided it out all the way, he might have been able to beat it. Question is the heel down before the ball is in the glove? We'll see. It's going to be close. Watch a little stutter step that he takes right here, right there. That's what cost him the base hit, if in fact they do call him out.
Matheny must be confident in this challenge. You don't see a lot of those this early, but this could be a big one. Instead of bases loaded and 1 out, if the call is overturned, it would be 2 outs, second and third.
Almost slowed down as he got to first base. And yeah, I understand he's a pitcher. Well, if he keeps going and busts it down that line, he's going to be safe easily.
The crew chief, John Hirschbeck, facing us. He was the calling umpire. Bill Welke's over there with him. So this process is underway in Chelsea, New York at the Replay Challenge Center. Now Hirschbeck has his call, and let's see what it is. Out. So Cravey ruled out. That'll be a sacrifice bunt for him to make it second and third, and the call is overturned. The challenge is successful, and Matheny will keep his challenge.
Yeah, watch Shane Peters. You get a big secondary lead. If he takes off right away, he's going to be safe at home plate, but because he didn't, it's a good move just to stay at third base. And that little stutter step, that cost him a hit.
Well, if it's a bunt single, it's gravy for Cravey.
Very nice.
Instead, it's a sacrifice.
So you are really making up for that lack of math skills early.
26 games over 500. Here's Scooter Gennett, and he takes a ball. 1 minute 29 seconds, Rock, on the replay. Come in just under your
90 seconds.
Your self-mandated Bill Schroeder 90-second rule.
I like it. We should send it in.
Base hit should score 2 here if it touches the outfield.
Now what we should do is have you send that into Major League Baseball, because if you do it, there's a good chance they might incorporate it. Me goes in the circular file.
Right. What kind of letterhead should I use on that? Should maybe stop by Commissioner Emeritus Bud Selig's office, get something more official?
Absolutely.
Handwritten.
Maybe go right to Bud.
He's too busy for us. He's teaching too many classes right now. Jeanette's worked the count 3-0. Something about the lefties thus far against Lance Lynn. Lind walked. Peterson singled. And now Jeanette in a 3-0 count.
And Herrera base hit.
There's a strike. Jammed him. Pop up in the infield. And Lance Lynn is going to get through the second. He strands 2 more. The Brewers have left 4 already. Tyler Cravey back to the mound. We go to the third. Milwaukee. Hey, a reminder that the playoff race getting into high gear now as we hit August. Tomorrow there is a doubleheader on Fox Sports 1. You can see the Dodgers and the Pirates in the afternoon game beginning at 2:30, and then the night game, the 6 o'clock game, is the Cardinals and the Brew Crew. Coverage begins 2:30 p.m. Fox Sports 1 streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Saw the great Tom Verducci here earlier today. He'll be on the call tomorrow with Aaron Goldsmith, and that'll be good fun with those two tomorrow. Excellent broadcasters. Verducci, one of the greatest baseball writers of all time, and he's turned into a terrific television personality now, an analyst, so he'll be here.
Saw him down on the field during batting practice today, doing his homework. It's always important, right? When you don't see a team too often.
There he is. He's Tony Migliaccio's doppelganger, by the way, so they do look alike.
He's got the good hair going.
I've never seen them in the same place together, Tony Miggs and Tom Verducci. Lance Lynn drives one to right field. Braun going back, and he's there to make the play for out number 1.
Lynn, no slouch at the plate, hitting over 200.
Hit that ball hard and sent Braun back to the warning track. Top of the order now, second time through. First time through, the Cardinals go 2 for 8 with a walk against Cravey. Speaking of doppelgangers, got a Matt Carpenter look-alike. The bat boy. Carpenter was a strikeout victim in the first. He's been hot lately. Overall, as a leadoff hitter, he's a .357 hitter. And here lately, in his last 8 games, he's hitting .400, has 8 runs batted in from that leadoff spot. He does drive in a lot of runs for a lead batter. He's got 55 this year. 15 home runs.
He strikes out a lot more than you would think. 86, 87 now strikeouts for him. Hasn't struck out a whole lot against the Brewers.
Those are his numbers as a leadoff hitter versus the rest of the lineup. So that would tell you to leave him in the leadoff spot. High on base percentage. Nothing on that chart would lead you to believe there'd be any reason to take him out of the leadoff spot, even if he strikes out a lot. Fly ball, foul territory. Davis for out number 2.
Yeah, who doesn't strike out a lot these days, right? It's rare to find a guy that doesn't strike out a whole lot.
Don't you get the feeling, though, with Matt Carpenter, he knows, especially with a Holiday, he's going to have to bring a little pop, some power, slugging percentage. That usually leads to more strikeouts. But when it's crunch time, when you need an at-bat, and if he gets behind, he's going to be a tough out. Right. He's not an easy strikeout or a hole in the lineup by any stretch. Long on the first pitch, and that's a quick inning for Tyler Cravey. 1-2-3 go the Redbirds. Brewers are coming up. We are scoreless. Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. It's a beautiful Friday night in Milwaukee. The Cardinals are here starting a 3-game series. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lucroy will lead off. Braun to follow. And then Adam Lynn is Lance Lynn. Misses outside to get the Lucroy at-bat started. Jonathan had the day off yesterday. Maldonado caught, had 2 hits. And the Brewers certainly didn't need Lucroy's bat off the bench with that 10-1 victory.
Always get a good full day off when you're the starting catcher. Day game after a night game, and Brewers got plenty of offense to allow Lucroy to get some rest. Always good for your backup catcher to be able to get a couple of hits. They feel like they're part of things, and nice game here at Miller Park for the crew.
Every position player in the lineup yesterday had at least 1 hit, including Maldonado. Had a couple of hits yesterday. 2-0 to Lucroy. Fouls it back. Even when Lynn's been behind in counts, he's been able to get back in the counts, frustrating the Brewer hitters. Scooter Gennett popped up on a 3-1 pitch right in on the handle with a couple of men on base, and it's a couple of occasions now where he's fallen behind. The hitters have had the count in their favor, and he's able to get back in there.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs, and he's got 3 different fastballs: cutter, 4-seamer, and a sinker. That's basically 3 different pitches, but very similar velocity.
And he missed. Lucroy draws a walk. Second walk issued by Lance Lynn. Base runner for Braun. Hey, a reminder, it is now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WishDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast thanks to T-Mobile. Braun steps in with Lucroy at first. Ryan singled in the first inning, one of 3 Brewer hits, all of them singles. Braun, Peterson, and Herrera. Ryan's career against Lance Lynn, pretty good numbers. He is 8 for 26. Does have a home run. He's seen him a lot. Braun, Lucroy, and Segura with a lot of at-bats against Lance Lynn throughout the years.
You don't expect to get a lot of runs against the Cardinal pitching staff, best in the National League. 2.63 ERA. That really puts the pressure on your starting pitching when you're playing the Cardinals. You can't give up too many, because typically they don't.
That's the one thing about the Cardinals when you look at them, and we're talking about the numbers don't jump off the page statistically, especially offensively, but the psychological benefit cannot be overstated for an offense, knowing that your pitching staff on most nights is going to keep you in a game. So there are a lot of late comebacks for the Cardinals. They're a team that has that confidence that they can strike. The Brewers, when they're going through their tough stretch, when they lost 6 straight, they get down 3 or 4 runs, you felt like they had no chance to come back.
Right.
That's the way it just felt throughout the team. But when you have a great pitching staff like the Cardinals, you're able to stay in games and not so much pressure. Peralta gloves it, flips it to Wong, and they turn it into a double play. That was nicely done.
Yeah, Peralta's something else. I mean, here's a guy that's getting up there in age, and He still has decent range, not great range, but when he gets to a baseball, he's going to make the play. He's only committed 4 errors this year at shortstop, playing just about every day. Made that one look easy. See those soft hands, the glove, and a backhand flip over to Wong for the double play.
And Peralta, there were a lot of analysts that thought Johnny Peralta's days as a shortstop were coming to an end after that PED suspension in Detroit. Matter of fact, as he was coming back, they made a deal to go get Iglesias from the Red Sox, so shortstop was closed off 2 years ago to Peralta, and they moved him into the outfield just to see if they could get his bat going, and never really became a factor in those few games he played at the end and then on into the playoffs for the Tigers.
I guess one of the reasons why he only has 4 errors. He doesn't have great range, so he's not one of those guys going to be diving into the hole, getting up and making throws. But he's pretty slick. I mean, if it's a play that he should make, he's going to make it.
Cardinals use defensive metrics a great deal. They're a lot like the Brewers in that category. They're constantly moving infielders to put them in the right position. You might have to start rethinking the shortstop position a little bit, or any middle infield position, with the shifting that is going on. Everybody wants that rangy shortstop that can go get everything hit to him. A Troy Tulowitzki type, or a Derek Jeter, early Derek Jeter days. But there's a lot of guys that can swing the bat that can still play short, might not have the range, and with offense down as it is, you'd want their bat in there. Right to him. And Peralta takes care of Adam Lind, and Lance Lynn, after issuing a leadoff walk, faces 3 batters in the 3rd.
First of a 3-game set. Hey, you're going to want to be at Miller Park next Saturday night as the Brewers battle the Phillies. And after the game, the Goo Goo Dolls take the stage to perform a full-length post-game concert, free for all fans in attendance. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/concerts.
Next Saturday, Brewers are going on the road, but just for 3 games at Wrigley Field, Chicago. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Be right back here. Johnny Peralta starts it for the Cardinals in a wave and a miss. Starts his second at bat like his first at bat ended, with a strikeout. Cravey coming off a 9-pitch 3rd inning.
When do you think the last time that a big league team went 3 weeks without getting on an airplane? That's what the Brewers are going to do.
That's right. On the bus. You know, the Cubs are in a stretch like that too.
Yeah.
Roller to Segura.
You would figure it would be a National League Central team doing it.
Cubs actually have it better. So they're in a 19-game window, and they don't even leave Chicago. Their only 3 road games are against the White Sox.
About that. 11-game homestand. You got a day off on Monday. 3-game series against the Cubs, and then back at home for 6.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's 21 days without jumping on an airplane. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but unusual.
Jason Hayward takes a ball. By the way, the Cubs won again today. They beat the Giants. They've won the first 2 of that series. Cubs the number 2 wild card team right now. A 7-3 win. John Lester got the win. Rondon with his 18th save. I guess Rondon's a closer again in Chicago.
Yeah, well, for now.
Lester beat Vogelsong today. And Kit Schwarber had another great day. 2 more hits, 2 RBIs. Had a double.
Still catching.
Still catching. Montero is not back yet, but he will be shortly. That'll only help the Cubs. I think we're all curious to see how the Cubs are going to fight through the dog days with so many young players.
Yeah, 4 rookies in the starting lineup's a lot.
As a rookie, is it better to be home in your home surroundings, which still feels foreign, or to be on the road mostly because of the per diem?
Yeah, as rookies, they're hurting, aren't they?
Ground ball back up the middle. Hayward with a 2-strike single.
I know rookies are only making $500,000 a year, so they need the meal money.
Live on that.
They need the meal money to get by. I don't think it matters home road, but you know, it's getting to the ballpark and the grind of every day, particularly when you're in there every day like those 4 Cubs rookies are. I mean, they play every day just about. Takes getting used to playing more than they have in their life.
I suppose if the Cubs are going to go on a run, and they've gotten off to a good start here against the Giants, this would be the time to do it. With so many home games.
Sometimes it's easier, on the road. I mean, it's more of a regimented schedule. You get to the hotel. You don't have a whole lot to do around the house. And, the way the travel is, so it's such easy travel with the big league teams these days. That's not a factor really, unless you have one of those long West Coast flights and you have a game the next day. That's a little bit different, but for the most part, it's pretty simple travel.
Gravy facing Randall Grichuk with a runner at first. Grichuk has a very compact, powerful swing. He did very well for the Cardinals early in the season as a pinch hitter. Now playing center field in the absence of Jay. He's got power, he's got speed. He's another one out of the Cardinals minor league system that is performing well when given the chance. 1-2 now on Grichuk.
Gravy blew that one by a middle in up in the zone. Strikes out a lot. You figure, as he gets through the league a few times, might start making adjustments. Pound for pound, not too many have more power than he does.
Got him. Gravy upstairs strikes him out for the second out of the inning. And the third strikeout for Tyler Gravy.
Got to learn the strike zone. That's job number 1 for young players. And that one a little bit above the belt. Might have been out of the zone, close, but chases it. Interesting setup for Randall Grichuk. And lays that bat down a little bit and got quick hands, but chases out of the zone a lot.
So 2 men are out. Here is Molina. And a ground ball to short. Should get him out. They'll go the easy way, and Cravey puts up another 0. No score. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. The crush is coming up. Chris Davis, after 2 homers yesterday, will lead off. Three-game weekend series. And it's time for our trivia question, brought to you by Carsouv.com. Which 6 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame played in the 1982 World Series? The Brewers Cardinals 1982 World Series. Well, you know that one. He was there. Robin Yount. 6 Hall of Famers. That's a good question. Brewers in the American League that year, the pennant winner, moving to the National League in '98, and in the same division as the Cardinals.
Kind of a trick question. There is a Hall of Famer that did not play in the World Series, but was on the club.
That counts, I think. I know who you're talking about.
Does it count? It said played.
Well, that's a good call. We'll have to go to a ruling on that. Stand by. 2-0 to Davis. And he pops it up foul behind the plate, and that is going to end up in the seats just out of the reach of Molina.
We are told that the player on the disabled list that did not pitch counts. Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
So Raleigh Fingers counts?
Yeah. We'll give him that one.
All right, you only have to come up with 4 then.
Well, 2 are down.
It was 6, wasn't it? I'm doubting my math now. The question, it was 6. And we've given 2 away.
Yeah, it was 6. Yes.
That leaves 4. That'll be exciting.
Let's see, is Pete Ladd in the Hall of Fame? No.
No,
he's
not Pete Ladd. Pete Ladd's not one.
My buddy Pete Ladd.
Hall of Fame feet, though.
Yeah, he did. 16s.
2-2 on the way. Davis had a good swing at it. Fouls it back.
I think there's 16 like quadruple E's.
Narrow.
He does not own a pair of dress shoes. Can't find any to fit.
Oh, we'll have to hook him up with our boys at Allen Edmonds.
They could take care of it.
No problem. 2-2 to Davis outside, ball 3. Then taking a little walk.
He's already walked 2 in the game.
Walked Lind and Lucroy. Pitch number 8 to Chris Davis, and he got him. A high fastball, same pitch that Davis struck out on back in the first inning.
Yeah, that's the one you have to lay off of. Tough to do, though. Well, he had to count his favorite 3-1, and Lance Lynn able to get him. That pitch very similar to the one that got him his first time up, and the one that Cravey was able to strike out Grichuk. High heater.
Peterson fouls it off. Did you see there was a trade today, Rock? Braves, Indians. Interesting trade. Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne to Atlanta. Chris Johnson to the Indians. Just a swapping of bad contracts.
Right, yeah.
See if you could get a.
None of those guys doing much this year.
Get them all restarted in a new place. So your first August trade of the year. Peterson dumps one into left, a base hit.
Oh, no 2 picks, huh?
2 more hits for Shane Peterson.
Yeah, high fastball, and this time Peterson able to fight it off, muscle it into right field. And that one leaked out over the plate, up in the zone, and Shane Peterson continues to swing a hot bat. Nice level swing, hits it right where it's pitched.
Fastball, swing and a miss. Segura up there aggressive. Segura struck out his last time up. He chased a breaking ball. Segura's been in a bit of a free fall here lately. Just can't figure out why he's missing so much.
It just looked like he's pulling that front shoulder just a little bit, getting the bat started a little bit too soon. And when you do that, you're going to be swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. When he's at his best, he's waiting back and driving the ball to right field.
0-2 pitch. No chopper foul. Segura's batting average down to .258. Has just 7 hits in his last 59 at-bats. He's been streaky, but been mired in a long slump here. He'd like to get hot. His batting average was up over .280 at one point before this slump.
That's when he had that long stretch of singles. How many was it?
Yeah, 38. 38 straight hits were singles.
And not trying to do too much. He'd have hit a home run that broke that streak.
Kind of feels like after the home run, that's when things went south for him.
Yeah, a little bit.
And a swing and a miss. Lynn goes down and in to strike him out. Second out of the inning.
Yeah, cutters, 4-seamers, and then he 2-seamed that one. Got under the bat of Segura that time. And watch the movement going down and in. And Segura with the big swing. You see him pull his shoulder. Pulls his head over in that Cardinals dugout. Overswing a bit, a little bit behind that fastball.
Here's Elian Herrera. Got a single last time up, pulled one through the hole at first and second. He bats with 2 away. Peterson at first. Scoreless game for the Brewers and the Cardinals thus far, bottom 4. Cardinals shut out the Reds yesterday, 3-0. Herrera down the line, and that's going to fall. Over there to cut it off is Piscotty. That'll keep Peterson at second, but Elian has 2 hits.
Peterson-Herrera combination has been pretty good tonight. 4 hits, 4 for 4. If nothing else, you clear Cravey. He doesn't have to lead off the 5th. Scotty thought about it for a second, but thought better of it because there's 2 outs. That ball gets by and Peterson's going to be able to score.
So first and second, Cravey at the plate, the Brewer pitcher who thought he had his first major league hit his last time up. Called safe on the field and then overturned after the challenge.
Well, you had a hit for 1:28.
If he never gets a hit in the big leagues, he'll have that. He might get his first hit right here. Shattered bat, slow roller. Carpenter again, throw to first in time. So that will retire the side. 2 more stranded. Brewers have left 6. We are scoreless through 4.
And Casino. Still scoreless here at Miller Park in the top of the 5th inning. Time to check in with the crew in the community. Earlier today, the Brewers athletic training staff, along with Brewers outfielders Chris Davis and Logan Schaefer, and the Taylor Hooten Foundation hosted the 2015 National Play Campaign. Play stands for promoting a lifetime of activity for youth. The Play campaign educates America's young people about the importance of living a healthy and active lifestyle, as well as important decision-making regarding performance-enhancing drugs. The kids that participated were divided into groups and rotated through a series of stations. Stations touched on everything from eating healthy, injury prevention, and strength and conditioning station, and education about the dangers of steroid abuse. B.A.?
All right, Telly, thanks. Great work today. Head athletic trainer Dan Wright and his staff, and the players that participated, Logan Schaefer, Chris Davis, good work by them. I like those shirts. All me, PED free.
Yeah, Dan Wright and his group, I mean, they work a lot of hours here at the ballpark. We're even here on off days. Pitchers have to throw, guys get treatment.
Ball and a strike on Moss. Cravey gets his 5th inning started. Cravey with 4 scoreless. This game feels a lot like the last matchup between Cravey and Lance Lynn back in June in St. Louis. That ball's ripped. Right field. Moss sends one off the base of the wall. He's going for 2. Braun's got a good arm, and the throw comes in. 1 hop, safe. Moss is in there with a double. Braun made it close.
And he's got that infielder's quick release, and right on the money on a 1-hopper. Took a little bit of a hop up in the air a little bit. That's why Moss was able to beat it, but hits this one hard off the wall. Braun plays it beautifully. And that quick release and an accurate throw to second base made it close. If that hop stays down a little bit more, they get him. Watch this hop. It goes straight up.
Leadoff double. And here's Piscotty. He lines one to left field. Davis can't get it, and it gets by, and this is going to score a run. Cardinals are on the board. Back-to-back doubles. 1-0 St. Louis. Rookie Stephen Piscotty with his 6th run batted in.
Yeah, let's see if that's going to be a hit and an error or a double. They're going to give him a double right off the end of the bat. He hit it hard. It was a sinking liner out to Davis. I don't think he ever got a glove on it. Maybe the end of the thumb, but a run in, that breaks the seal on this game. First run of the ball game, driven in by Piscotty, number 8 hitter.
And now Lynn up there to bunt him to third. Lynn flew out to right his first time up. He has 7 hits this year. He's hitting .206. He bunted it foul. Self-defense.
Yeah, that ball coming up and in on him. Check out the reaction of Lance Lynn once this ball ends up going right by the ear. He's very fortunate that ball didn't hit him in the head. Not the pitch, but after he bunts it. Look at that. Close.
Yeah, right by his ear. That'll rattle you a little bit.
That'll keep you loose in that batter's box anyway. Not so willing to square around.
Cravey tried to come back with a curveball with the seed planted. Missed with it. 2-1 now. Shows bunt again, and he bunts another one foul. Cravey staying in there, and Lynn
getting upset.
Keeps fouling him away. He could always just pull the bat back, take a ball, but they're coming in on him.
Not making it easy. You're not supposed to make it easy on him.
That's where you're supposed to pitch him.
Right.
Fastball's in.
Just pull the bat back and let it go. Where do you think this one's coming?
2-2. Shows bunt. And a called strike 3.
Outside corner.
Set him up beautifully.
He knew it was coming. 3 up and in. And down and away to get him on a 3rd strike.
It's good game plan. It's a pitcher at the plate, but that's an out that Cravey desperately needed without advancing a runner, and he hits the bullseye with that one.
I don't think Lance Lynn was too comfortable up there in the batter's box. Can't blame him. Right on the corner and gets him.
Only pitch he threw in the strike zone the entire at bat. So 1 out, and here is Carpenter now, who's 0 for 2. This is where he gets real tough. Pickoff play, throw to second. Well, if Cravey throws it right away, you might have a shot.
Or he spins around, he might be able to get more on it. That gave him the inside move. Check this out. I mean, if he throws it right away before Segura's even there, they're going to pick him off. Right now, spin around and get him. And he gives him the inside move, not able to get much on the throw. I really like the way Gene Segura is so active behind the runner at second base. He does that quite often. Just try and keep him close. If you get him out, that's a bonus. What you try to do is you keep him as close to second as you can. He might not be able to score on a base hit. Let's see how much he's shortened up that lead since that pickoff attempt.
Carpenter's hit a couple of home runs on this road trip. Started in Cincinnati. The 15 home runs he's hit, they are the most by a left-handed hitting St. Louis third baseman. Now those are pretty specific parameters, but
they've been around a while.
Cardinals have been around a long time, so he's at the top of the list. Good for him.
Does that include having a beard too?
On a Friday. 2-2 to Carpenter. Gravy giving up back-to-back doubles. Trying to retire Carpenter and strand a runner at second and hold the phone. That was a timeout asked for and granted. Asked for by Carpenter.
Hey, best off just letting it go and maybe just throwing the baseball. You hold up like that, you risk injury. A late timeout call at home plate.
Reset at 2-2 the count. He spoils one foul. Cardinals wrap up their road trip here in Milwaukee Sunday, and then like the Brewers, they have Monday off, and then they've got a big homestand coming with the Pirates. Giants are on their next homestand. Brewers would like to put a little bit of a dent in this impressive season by the Cardinals.
Yeah, 3-game dent would be nice.
Brewers have struggled against St. Louis over the last few years. Matter of fact, they have not had a winning record against the Cardinals since 2010. 3-6 this year. Managed by the former Brewer, Mike Matheny. That'll slice into the seats. Kids are fired up, hanging out with his buddies. All got their jerseys on. Up top, Ma.
Today was a t-shirt giveaway today, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's a nice one too.
Free shirt Friday.
It's a throwback jersey, right? The M that you like so much.
I like that. It's one of my favorites. 3-2 pitch. Carpenter in the air, right field. Braun can't get it. One hopper off the wall. And 3 doubles in the inning. The Cardinals have a 2-0 lead now. Carpenter delivers again.
Yeah, the double by Moss and the double by Carpenter just now hit awfully hard. And the one by Piscotty off the end of the bat, but Matt Carpenter gets good extension on this one and lines it over Braun's head. And one hops the wall with 2 outs. So a 2-0 lead for the Cardinals. You don't want to fall behind too much more. Lance Lynn's been pretty good against the Brewers.
Here's Colton Wong now. Four batters faced in this inning, 3 doubles. Only out was the Lynn strikeout. Got Peralta due next. Wong batting out of the 2 spot. Had an infield hit in the first, and then was thrown out trying to steal second. Colton Wong from Hawaii. Another one of the Cardinals homegrown products. Played his college ball at the University of Hawaii.
He's got terrific speed on a team that doesn't steal a lot of bases. Got to get on first, though.
He was among those considered for Rookie of the Year last year. Finished third in the voting. And he walks on 4 pitches. Wong is aboard first and second with just 1 out. Here comes Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach.
First walk of the game for Cravey. Trying to be a little bit too fine after the 3 doubles. I think Kranitz has a way of just calming these guys down when he goes out on the mound, and had a tough customer to deal with, though, with Johnny Peralta coming up.
I think he breathes all that cigar smoke on him and just kind of settles you down, puts you in a good place.
Yeah.
A cigar aficionado, Rick Kranitz. He's had his say. Let's see how Cravey does here. He's got Johnny Peralta, who grounds into a lot of double plays, but he is a major threat at the plate. And he hits one hard right field. Braun's on the run. Braun is there with a basket catch. Well, at the last moment, Braun turned the glove over and made the catch for out number 2. That's a big out for Cravey.
Yeah, nice catch and pretty bad base running by Matt Carpenter. Not sure why he's not at third base. There you go, halfway on that. Once you see Braun right there, it looks like he's going to make the catch, go back and tag up. He could have done that, but he's still at second base. Let's see if Tyler Cravey can take advantage of that base running mistake.
Peralta thought he had a hit, maybe 2 runs batted in with Wong's speed. Instead, it's an out, and the second out, and here is Jason Hayward. Ground ball back up the middle, base hit. Coming around to score is Carpenter, and it's 3-0 St. Louis.
Yeah, Hayward's seeing the baseball pretty well against Cravey tonight. A couple of hits. He flew out deep to center. The guy doesn't pull the ball too much. Both of his base hits pretty much the same spot, just out of the reach of Jeanette and into center field.
3 runs are in on 4 hits and a walk. And now Randall Grichuk, the 8th batter of the inning. There's no activity in the Brewers bullpen. Counsell is going to let it ride here in the 5th. That's the biggest difference with a team not in a pennant race versus a team in a pennant race. If you're in contention, you're going to make moves earlier than not. Now you can let Cravey roll, try to get him through it. See if he can pitch out of a jam.
Yeah, you want to see that too. You want to see how he handles adversity. First time against the Cardinals, didn't have much. Gave up 1 run. But a rough inning for him here tonight.
Right center, way back. Randall Grichuk sends one out of here. 2-run home run. Beg your pardon, 3-run home run. And the Cardinals have busted this one wide open. A 6-run 5th. And now activity in the bullpen. Grichuk with his 14th. 43 runs batted in now, and it didn't take long to get out.
Yeah, look at that pitch down. It was down outer half, and Grichuk with that nice short stroke. Talked about how much power he has, and able to ride that one out of here into the Toyota territory. That ball went a long way. That's a nice short stroke. Cardinals with a 6th spot here in the 5th.
Cravey worked 4 shutout with just 3 hits. He's given up 6 runs on 5 hits and a walk here in the 5th inning. They have batted around against him. Molina into right, playable for Braun. And that will do it. 9 batters come to the plate, 6 of them score. And the Cardinals have opened it up at Miller Park. Alone with his thoughts in the Brewers dugout. Tough one there. Well, you can see Lambeau Field like you've never seen it before from Over the Edge on Saturday, August 15th. You can rappel down the side of Lambeau Field for the ultimate fan experience while raising money for Special Olympics Wisconsin. Sign up today. Limited spots available. Just go to foxsportswisconsin.com/events for more info. Lance Lynn against Scooter Gennett. Brewers are down 6 runs just like that.
Now Cardinals hitters making some big adjustments. 3rd time through. It actually started with Brendan Moss, his 2nd at bat.
In the air to Grichuk. He just hit the big homer, the 3-run home run. Game changer there.
The biggest challenge for young players, whether you're a position player with trying to hit or pitchers out there in the mound, you got to make adjustments because the guys you're facing are going to be making them. Not much of a book on Cravey. The Cardinals have seen him before, but started out pretty well. But these Cardinal hitters, although they really have been knocking the world on fire this year, they can swing the bats.
Here's Lucroy now.
And given where the Brewers are right now in the standings, and a perfect opportunity for a guy like Cravey, and give the Brewers get to see what he can actually do out there for an extended period of time. We'll see how many starts he's given. That'll be dependent upon Tyler Cravey.
I'm guessing getting out of jams that's a learned skill. You know, you got to do it a few times, and it's hard to do that in the minor leagues because your outings are typically shorter. It's a much more strict pitch count.
I remember Willie Peralta had a difficult time with that his first year. And Jimmy Nelson has gotten better at minimizing the big inning. He still struggles somewhat with 1st inning runs. Something different with every guy.
Lucroy out to first base. Moss is there for out number 2. Here comes Braun. Braun tops the Powerball home run leaderboard coming in. 19 home runs. Adam Lind with 16. Davis with his 2 home runs yesterday. 3rd on the club.
Dropped in a breaking ball. Haven't seen too many of those. I guess with a 6-0 lead, you can do things like that. Didn't see many of those when it was 0-0.
And a fastball missed. You can put some movement on a fastball, Lynn.
There's a cutter. Just missed the outside corner.
It's all those little subtle movements. Sinker down and in, the cutter that goes away. And then he still has the velocity to reach back and hit mid-90s with the fastball. Cardinals are going to roll out Lynn, Jaime Garcia, then John Lackey in this series. Peralta and Jimmy Nelson are remaining for the Brewers. As Braun fouls one off. Little backhand pick. She made it look easy.
Just have to make sure it's a foul ball.
Correct.
Where were we when it was L.A., wasn't it?
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. Fair ball.
The ball dude.
The ball guy picked it up.
Not the Brew Crew, though. They're always on it.
They're better than them, right?
Of course. A strike call. Down goes Braun. He knew it. 95-mile-an-hour fastball to 1-2-3 fifth. Like a sore thumb for the Brew Crew. Cardinals got 6 on 5 hits in the 5th. And now we head to the 6th inning. Carsoup.com trivia, which 6 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame played in the '82 World Series. We gave you Youn and Fingers, of course. Paul Molitor, that was easy. Raleigh was hurt that year, but on the roster. Don Sutton, Ozzie Smith, and Bruce Sutter. And Whitey Herzog was the manager. Not on that list. And another interesting nugget, Jim Cott, who's not in the Hall of Fame, but has great numbers and is just right on the edge of being a Hall of Famer. He pitched in the first 4 games of that World Series. That was his penultimate season, Rob.
Yeah. Very nice.
Wrapped up his career in '83 with the Cardinals.
He's on the precipice of the Hall of Fame.
Nice, good word. Tyler Thornburg is the new pitcher. His 9th appearance for the Brewers. Just got back to the big leagues last week.
It's a big day for you with big words, isn't it? Kind of a tune-up for the national game.
No, see, come on
you
now.
Fire words like that out that schmaltzy and stuff.
That's however they flow. Yeah. Moss, the only infielder on that side is Herrera, and he's got it for out number 1.
Penultimate does not flow anywhere.
Second to last.
Next to last? Yeah.
It sounds better than next to last.
I guess.
Or second to last. If you don't say penultimate, you've got to say 3 different words.
Next to last? But everybody understands that. Mainly me.
There's Stephen Piscotty. Had a double his last time up. That 5th inning started with back-to-back doubles by Moss and Piscotty, and they both scored. Well, what do we make of Tyler Cravey's night? He was going along really well until the 5th and the 3rd time through the batting order.
Yeah.
Shot to Herrera. 2 outs.
Yeah, off-speed pitch. Piscotty able to wait back, but nice play by Herrera. Hit this one right on the nose, and just a little bit of a lunge. It's worth another look. Brought to you by Columbia St. Mary's. Nice pick by Eliot Herrera.
2 outs for Lance Lynn. Cardinals open the day 6 games ahead of the Pirates in the Central. Division champs last year. Matheny's done a good job for the Cardinals. There's interesting to watch that managerial transition from Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager, to Mike Matheny, who had never managed at any level.
It's seamless, right?
Just keeps producing playoff teams. It's his 4th year. He's been to the postseason in each of his first 3 seasons. And the one thing you could say about the Cardinals, Matheny and John Mozeliak, their general manager, they are in sync and they work well together. Matheny worked under Mozeliak. Liner to Peterson, and that will do it. Cardinals go in order in the 6th. Good inning for Thornburg, and the Brewers are coming up down 6. Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Cardinals lead the Brewers 6-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Brewers are coming up. We had the famous racing sausages, and check out the Polish. He got pantsed.
Oh my, by himself.
Uh-oh. Polish is going all natural the rest of the way.
You see that commando? There he goes, finishing up.
Polish pants punked. That was good. Thank you, Polish, for that. You can always count on Polish. And it wasn't staged.
Might not always win, but he's good for a couple of yucks.
He's got that crooked smile going all the time. Adam Lynn swings and lines one to center field. That will make the catch. Good check for the first out. Got to bring up Chris Davis. I didn't see who won the sausage race.
Does it matter?
I was completely distracted.
I think everybody was watching Polish.
Polish, he's your winner. A lot of sausages would just give up. Head on home. Cut tail and run. There's no real easy way out for the racing sausage, though.
It's not like he can bend down and pull his pants back up.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of impossible. It's a tough spot.
I mean, your arms are all kind of hanging out to the side. I thought he was pretty ingenious discarding the pants.
He's kind of got arms like, a lot of the folks we go out to dinner with on the road.
Yes.
Just can't reach into their pants.
Alligator arms. Davis takes a ball, 2-2 now. Ooh, I saw another trade in the big leagues today. I forgot to mention, Rock. Mike Napoli got sent back to the Rangers.
Wow.
He had a great run with the Rangers in the World Series run against the Cardinals. So he's going back to a familiar spot. The Texas Rangers all of a sudden feel like they're in it. They're a game over 500. They just swept Houston.
A lot of teams think they're still in it.
Davis draws the walk. And a man on with one out.
Hey, there's another free shirt Friday coming up next week against the Phillies. So if you missed tonight, don't worry, there's another one coming up. All fans at Miller Park on Friday, August 14th will get a free Retro Brewers t-shirt courtesy of Master Printwear. Go to brewers.com for tickets.
Big yellow shirts. I like these, though. See, here's how we hold them. Here's how the guys in the truck hold them.
I like the logo. Did you see it on the front?
It's the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, with the ball and glove logo.
That's a nice, that's very creative.
Yeah, Renee showed that to me earlier today, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure it out.
Really?
But I got it.
You got it. You weren't expecting that. And Shane Peterson, another base hit. Well, it's time to stop saying he's hot. He's just good right now.
Yeah, 3 of the 6 hits for the Brewers off the bat of Shane Peterson tonight.
Shane Peterson pulls one this time. His first 2 hits were to the opposite field. His third 3-hit game, and he has pushed his batting average to .324.
3 hits for Peterson, 2 hits for Herrera. Bottom of the order, swinging the bat well.
I'll see if Segura can give him a quick strike here. Maybe down 6-0. Brewers need something good to happen offensively. Now, when you're in a slump, feels like you're always in an 0-2 count. It's like that game we used to play in inter-squad games when coach would put an 0-2 count on you. That's how you'd start the at-bat.
You get into these stretches where every pitch you take's a strike, everything you swing at's out of the strike zone. Like that last pitch that Segura swung at. 0-2, down and in. Same pitch that he struck out on his last time up. It's all about seeing a baseball. Sometimes you can't swing your way out of slumps. Taking pitches sometimes will get you locked back in.
And down goes Segura. Lynn just carved him up. Segura's in a bad place right now. Struck out for the 3rd time. 2nd out of the inning, and that'll bring up Elian Herrera.
Yeah, 0-2 count. He fouled off the sinker down and in, and got him on a cutter.
6 strikeouts for Lance Lynn. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. 2 hits, 2 singles. 1 to right, 1 to left. Both as a left-handed batter against the right-hander Lynn. Pitch number 101, swung on and missed. 1-1 to count. This would be a game where Matheny would be a little more strict on that 100 pitch limit with a 6-0 lead. 2 on, 2 out. 2-1.
Activity out in that Cardinals bullpen already.
The right-hander Seth Maness. Under the watchful eye of Blaze Ilesley. Fouled away. 2-2. Well, the Mets are at it again. The Mets are the hottest team in baseball. They just scored 2 runs in the 9th to take the lead over the Rays. 4-3. The Mets have won 6 in a row, 8 of their last 10, and they have a 1.5 game lead over the Washington Nationals, who are losing to Colorado in the 9th inning tonight. The Amazons,
yeah, back. Juan Uribe's helping them out.
Yeah, he is. He and Kelly Johnson. And Cespedes for the rest of us. 3-2 pitch, runners go, ball 4, bases are loaded. All right, so they're loaded up. Chance for Counsell to take a shot at it here with a pinch hitter, and he's going to bring on Logan Schaefer, pulling Thornburg back. And Derek Lilliquist on his way to the mound, the pitching coach.
Yeah, Schaefer's been swinging the bat well since he's come up. He drove in a couple of big runs a couple of nights ago against the Padres. Hit a double night before.
Quick scouting report for Lilliquist on Logan Schaefer, left-handed hitter. The Cardinal pitching staff has a consecutive scoreless inning streak going of 25+ innings. currently. Got a shutout win yesterday. Lynn is at 5 2/3 shutout. Got to go back into Tuesday night's game against Cincinnati, the last time they allowed a run. 25+. Brewers would like to end that right now. So here's Schaefer. Base is full of Brewers. One swing of the bat could change this game. Pitch count's getting up there. Figures to be Lynn's last hitter. Inside. Ball one. After the Brewers traded Parra and Gomez, Schaefer got the call back to the big leagues. Boy, had a good cut at it.
Yeah, good pitch on the inside corner. Tied him up. Logan, you can see the look on his face. He knew he had a pretty good one to hit.
Logan's had 5 at-bats since he returned. He has a couple of hits. He's driven in 2 runs.
Yeah, they're giving him a lot of room out in right center. Hit one out there, going to clear the bases.
One ball, 2 strikes. And a called strike 3. The Brewers strand, the bases loaded. Lynn gets through 6. 9 left on for Milwaukee. Erupt in the 5th. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. And then Matt Carpenter with a double and an RBI. After the Piscotty run batted in. Hayward drove in a run with a 2-out single. It was 3-0 at that point, and then a down and away pitch driven out by Randall Grichuk. 3-run home run. 6-run inning in the 5th for the Redbirds. And they lead it 6-0 as we go to the 7th. New pitcher for the Crew. It is left-hander Neil Kotz.
Yeah, Kotz last pitched on Monday, so it's been a few days for him. Tossed a scoreless inning. Has not given up a run in 24 of his last 27 games. That's a 133 earned run average. You can see just as many strikeouts as innings pitched. He's been very good as of late.
Facing Matt Carpenter to start it. A couple of lefties at the top of this St. Louis order. Both handle lefties, especially Carpenter, and he swings at the first one. Peterson turns and runs and watches that one off the top of the fence. Hit the top corner of the fence and comes back in for a double. Ball jumped off his bat. His second double in as many at-bats.
Yeah, right off the corner of the fence. The Cardinals think that's out of the ballpark, but not. Hits the corner of the fence and comes back in.
Yeah, that's a double.
That's a double.
No home run. I believe the home plate umpire, Jonathan Payne, thought it hit the back wall, and they're going to go to replay here. This will be an umpire review.
This will be about 2 seconds.
Hope so.
You know that they've looked at it in New York, and as soon as they put the headsets on, they should get the word that it did not leave the ballpark.
John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, with his back to us. And the calling umpire there, Angel Hernandez. Thought Hernandez initially had it as a double all the way. It was the home plate umpire, I believe, who came out and
how can he see it?
Questioned it. He was the only one I saw that circled the finger, the indicator that it's a home run.
He's the furthest guy away. I'm sure not how sure that Jonathan Payne could see it. Easy for me to say.
We're further away and we saw it clearly. And we heard it clearly is more than anything else. You heard the thud. It's a different sound when it hits the back wall back there. It's the concrete. All right, here we go. It's a double. You stay there, Matt.
Clearly. Not sure why it took so long on the replay. That should have been about a 10-second job right there, but right off the corner of the wall and back into the field of play.
All right, so a leadoff double. Here's Colton Wong now. One minute, 10 seconds to determine that. 20 seconds clear of the rock line.
Should have been a minute and 29 seconds clear of the rock line.
Yeah, he puts on the headset. Somebody's in there going double. It's a double. Double.
Not even close.
Double.
Double. Let's get going.
We took a tour of the replay center last year. That was very, very interesting.
Yeah. Nothing going on in there at the time.
No.
We didn't go in there when there was games going on.
We didn't make any calls or anything.
You can't do that, but yeah, very interesting. And the monitors are all spread around the room. One umpire for 2 games.
The technology is fascinating.
Yeah.
How they can stitch images together and have all the games going. It's like the greatest man cave you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And you get to be a part of calls. Now there are 2 4-man umpire crews in there. That's part of the regular rotation.
And we do not know who they are.
Do not. And we asked about that. They told us the reason they don't disclose that information is because it might not be that particular person. Sometimes a call is made by a supervisor. Sometimes there is an umpire assigned to every game. There's one umpire assigned to this game and then another one. So they actually monitor 2 games when it's a full schedule. But
I think it could create a little bit of a problem when, if you know a certain umpire made a call against your team or what have you, and then he shows up at your ballpark, there might be a little bit of arguing going on about that. Of course, it's pretty clear, though, on the replay.
Yeah.
Not much you can argue about.
I don't know if it'll ever happen, but, and not that umpires are interested in entertaining anyone, but it would be fascinating to be able to hear the conversation. And, they're all trying to get it right. And if we were able to tap into that, and it would be great. We could hear exactly what the ruling was. I'm not sure we'll ever get to that point, but
what they should do, though, is they should have an umpire. There should be a mic down there and explain to everybody what they're looking at.
Like football.
That was obvious, but there are things that they're looking at that we're not sure you know, what they're reviewing.
Yeah.
That's happened on a number of occasions. You got to guess.
And they do have safety nets in place for that, and we do get the information back, and we have an open communication line as well, but there's usually a little bit of a delay. Line drive to left, right at Davis.
But the fans don't.
Right, because they're waiting on us, and we have to wait on them.
Well, in the ballpark, I mean.
Oh, yeah,
in the
good
ballpark,
point.
people in the ballpark don't know what they're looking at. Sometimes it's very obvious, like that one, but there are times when it's not. Sometimes you think they're looking at a certain thing, but it's not what they're talking about.
Remember, Joe Madden got thrown out the other day here in Milwaukee, and he was asking whether it was a play at first base, whether the runner beat the throw or whether the foot was off the bag. He wasn't sure which one they ruled on or decided on. He was trying to ask why. And you know, Joe was in his own way, but he got ejected quickly because you can't argue a replay, and a little misunderstanding there. Possibly revisionist history going on as well, but point is he didn't know, and he's the manager of a team. He didn't know exactly what happened. Peralta takes a strike.
Are you reading the thesaurus this last couple of days? Revisionist history.
I'm just saying Joe Madden might have, gone out with the intention of acting like he's asking a question when he really is basically saying, are you sure that you got that right? Are you sure that was the call?
Yeah, I get it.
And as he's remembering it, he's being very innocent. I was just simply asking a question.
Yeah.
Oh, and to the count to Peralta, inside for a ball.
I think we don't have too many days off. You're boning up yesterday, weren't you? Doing crossword puzzles? That's good.
I was at the end of a Magic Eraser yesterday for most of the day. And a swing and a miss. Caught, strikes out Peralta for the second out of the inning. Who's in our tavern of the game tonight, Rock?
Well, it's the Detour Bar and Grill in New Lisbon. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Did you study up on New Lisbon? You have any information you can offer?
That's a good name of a bar, this summer in Wisconsin. Detour Bar and Grill.
Where'd you go after the game? I took a little detour.
Would have been home earlier, but I ran into a detour.
That's better.
Yeah.
More experience. Bar answers.
My grandfather used to say, ran into a train. There was a train going across the street.
Couldn't get across.
Took me a while.
There's one here. And just about everywhere else. Where everybody knows your name. Hayward late, and the count evens at 2-2. Jason Hayward for Shelby Miller. It's been a good trade. Hayward's brought a lot to the Cardinals. Had a few injury problems, but he's got a high batting average. He's stealing bases. He gives him that speed threat. He's a great outfielder.
RBI's down, only 36.
Bouncing ball to Segura. Knows he's got to rush it over there. No problem. Neil Kotz puts up a 0 in the 7th. Stretch time in Milwaukee. 6-0 Cardinals. Brewers Cardinals for the next 3 days. Got an afternoon game on Sunday. Well, tonight on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1, got a matchup of Cy Young contenders at PNC Park. Kershaw and Garrett Cole. Dodgers Pirates. That game is heading into extra innings now. 4-4 game. Neither starter will factor. The Blue Jays and the Yankees in the Bronx today. The Blue Jays making a serious run at the AL East crown. See that on Fox Sports Live. The updates right now. The Yankees are up 3.5 games on the Blue Jays. Toronto has just won 2-1 in 10 innings. How about that? So that has just gone final. And the updated standings. And they'll have all the highlights for you on Fox Sports 1. New pitcher is Carlos Villanueva, the former Brewer. Lance Lynn goes 6 shutout innings.
Yeah, good numbers for Villa, as he is affectionately referred to by his teammates here in Milwaukee. He popped out of that dugout during batting practice. Everyone over to say hello. And a 161 earned run average. Carlos throws just about everything at you, changes speeds, and one of the more popular Brewers when he was here.
Jeanette lines another one foul, that same area. Yeah, Villanueva spent some time in Toronto after his Brewer days. He was a Cub. Found a niche right here in the middle relief role with the Cardinals. Cardinals are carrying 8 relievers, including Jonathan Broxton, whom they acquired at the trade deadline. Brewers got a minor league outfielder in that deal. There's Brox right back at Miller Park, right where he left last week.
Aren't too many teams that aren't carrying 8 relievers these days. 4-man bench seems to be the popular trend.
Broxton is pitching well for the Cardinals. He's gone 3 2/3 innings as a member of the Redbirds. No hits allowed thus far. Cardinals have a lockdown closer in Trevor Rosenthal, and then they kind of mix and match to get to the finish line. Segrist and Cishek give you some strange looks from the right and the left side. got Randy Choate down there, lefty. Villanueva is more of the changeup pitcher. Broxton brings some power. They're all different. Matt Belisle has that great cutter. Foul back. The Lions is their long man. We saw Manus loosening up earlier.
He was up to, just in case he had to get the Cardinals out of a bad spot in that last inning. You know, men on base, runs in.
Jeanette just lays the bat out there. The ground ball to second before the out.
That's what Villanueva does to you. Doesn't throw hard. Upper 80s. You know, mid to upper 80s with the fastball, but throws everything. Kitchen sink at you. A lot of off-speed pitches.
So here's Lucroy now. Luke is 0 for 2 with a walk. Brewers, after scoring 10 runs on 14 hits yesterday afternoon against the Padres, being shut out, they have stranded 9, left the bases loaded last inning. Cardinals have run their consecutive scoreless inning streak to 26 plus. The last run the Cardinal pitching staff allowed was the 4th inning on Wednesday in Cincinnati. That was a game that went 13 innings. Nothing but zeros since that time. Shutout yesterday, a 3-0 shutout. Lucroy to center. Grichuk out number 2.
Yep, a National League best team earned run average coming in at 263. The St. Louis Cardinals, and yeah, we talked about it early in the game. I mean, that puts pressure on the starting pitcher. And when you're facing the Cardinals, you know you can't give up too many runs because chances are you're not going to get too many. Margin for error very thin. That's when you make mistakes.
Cardinals have the best record in the big leagues. Royals have the best record in the American League, the Missouri connection. I don't think a Kansas City St. Louis World Series would shock anybody. Bring back Brett Saberhagen and Joaquin Andahar. The I-70 series.
Yeah.
If only they had replay back then. Says Don Deckinger. Tough call.
Yep.
0-2 to Braun. Down he goes. 1, 2, 3 inning. Brewers going quietly. 6-0 St. Louis. We go to the 8th inning. top 8. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Don't forget to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #WishDataStrongFan, and you might be just like Abby, sitting there with Gene Segura. Which one you figure is Abby, Rock? On the right or on the left?
On the right.
All right. I'll take the one on the left. Abby, tell us which one is you. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Hernan Perez will come into play third base. There are a few changes here. Herrera moves out into right field. So Braun is done for the night, and Kyle Loesch out of the bullpen for the first time since 2009.
Yeah, taken out of the rotation, allowing Tyler Cravey to get a start tonight. Been a rough year for Kyle, and trying to get some outs out of the bullpen.
Last time Loesch pitched out of the bullpen was as a member of the Cardinals. 2009 season. John Smoltz started that game. That was against Milwaukee, as a matter of fact. September 8th, 2009, Loesch's last appearance out of the pen. The last time he was regularly appearing out of the bullpen was 07. Now, when he was a Minnesota Twin, he pitched out of the pen quite a bit. He has 25 career relief appearances now. 21 of those came as a Twin. So he hasn't done a whole lot of this in a long time. And I'm sure it's not a comfortable spot for him to be.
No, but certainly that's an opportunity maybe to get things going for himself and get a team maybe look at him, get a contract for next year. Can't imagine how difficult this year has been on him.
The Brewers opening day starter, and having to pitch out of the bullpen in August, especially for a guy who's had a lot of success. He was terrific as a member of the Cardinals, came here, was good his first 2 years as a Brewer, and just could not get things figured out this year. He's got time, but going to have to do it out of the bullpen for the short term. Grichuk lines one foul.
A couple of tough plays down the line.
Yep. A couple of whiffs. You know what he needs? He needs a spider's glove.
Yeah, you're right.
You never miss with a spider's glove.
Maybe I should walk my catcher's mitt down to him.
I think so. He's got another chance? No.
That is a cowhide magnet that the old Spider's catcher's mitt. Maldonado wants to use this in a game.
You gonna let him?
No. It's my glove.
It's got your name on it.
No, it's my glove.
I think it might be more valuable if it was game used. Plus, it's not exactly getting a lot of work here in the booth.
No valuable to who?
Other than you pounding your fist in it.
It's mine. I don't care who.
Has it ever even seen a baseball?
Yeah. Yeah, done. Yeah.
Other than the ball you're holding up here in the booth?
Actually,
like,
I threw that one to a young kid earlier. So I don't have a baseball up here right now.
You got no ball. You got no game if you got no ball.
No. It's a nice glove, though. I like to pound on it. Hear it?
I hear it. Sounds good.
Yeah. It smells good.
It does. It does. It's the kind of glove you can make a pitcher feel good because you can get the good pop. Keep it on just in case we get a foul ball back here. Tonight could be the night. In my 9 years in this booth, I have never gotten a foul ball here. Not even close.
Never?
Well, close. I mean, one or the other, but not in this particular window.
There's been some. Not many.
It's going to happen. That's too far for me to reach. Segura's got a chance, though, and he makes a catch. Grichuk is retired. Here's Yadier Molina, Losh's old catcher. I feel like you're taking a trip down memory lane over here now. You got your glove out. You got some memories coming up?
Yeah, I'm thinking when I used to be 230 pounds and could steal a couple of bases. I could actually reach home plate from the mound. Yep. Thank you for
the good old days.
Thank you for setting me straight.
Somebody cue up the Bruce Springsteen. Glory days.
Yeah.
You know, they pass you by, Rod.
Yeah, they do. Quickly.
Into right center, right off the end of the bat. It will fall. A base hit. It's a single for Molina. He has 2 hits tonight.
He certainly saves his energy out there in the field, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He doesn't run too much.
It's the only part of his game that lacks.
Yeah.
The running game. Yep, single.
He's a single. He just kind of hops on top of first.
Well, I think his manager's A-OK with it all. He's not a fast runner anyway, so it's not like he's going to second.
Catches just about every day, and one of the best or the best in the business. So I guess if there's one thing you can criticize him for, it might be that, but that's not a big deal. He picks his spots to run. When he has to run, he'll take off. Incredible catcher.
Perhaps the best ever. He's certainly in the conversation.
Yep.
One ball, 2 strikes. Got a runner at first. Brandon Moss at the plate. Newest Cardinal. Center field. Peterson going back. And he's got room to make the play. 2 outs. Ball's really carrying to center field.
Seems like it, doesn't it? Roof closed. Glass panels open.
I thought that ball Carpenter hit in the 7th looked like an out. Maybe a warning track out. But it hit the top of the wall. The way the winds circulate through here when the panels are open.
Yeah, wind's blowing straight down right now.
No straight down winds. Those are tough to judge. Swirl from the top down.
Yeah. Flag not moving.
Stephen Piscotty, who has a double and an RBI tonight. He scored a run. Lined out to Herrera at third base his last time up. He's an impressive prospect that's getting a chance here in the big leagues maybe a year earlier than he thought.
Off to a good start.
Piscotty playing in his 16th game for the Cardinals. Doesn't look like a guy who would wear 55. That might change next year. On the ground, right to Segura. He'll go to Jeanette the easy way, and Kyle Loesch has a scoreless 8th inning out of the bullpen for the first time in 6 years.
for Brewers Live postgame on the way. And I'll tell you what, we've enjoyed talking about Shane Peterson here, and we're going to talk more about him. 3 more hits tonight. Continues to play really good center field, a spot that he didn't play in until he got to the big leagues.
About getting to the big leagues and making adjustments. See what he's done. Started the last 8 games, hitting .444 over that period.
And Augie, he's hitting the ball the other way. He's hitting it to all fields. 2 hits going to left today. His 3rd one going to right. So he's making the most of his time.
Yeah, what he's doing, he's just trying to get on base. Not trying to do anything special. Trying to help this ball club get guys on base. Because you get out the guys on base, you get that opportunity. He's done a nice job for the ball club.
Boy, you really like his approach. No question about that. We'll talk more with Rock when he joins us for our Brewers Live postgame. And see if the Brewers can rally. Who knows, right, B.A.?
Never know. Got 6 outs to work with. Adam Lynn starts it. Chris Davis and then Peterson, who has raised his batting average to .324 with those 3 hits tonight. Adam is 0 for 2. A lot of talk about Lind as we approach the trade deadline, and rumors that he might end up in a Cardinal uniform didn't materialize. But you figured there was something to it because it was surfacing in both spots.
Well,
but Lynn does, or the Brewers have an option on Lynn for next year. That would be tough for them to trade a player inside the division starting up for next season.
right.
Lynn flies out to Hayward, out number 1.
That's something you never saw at any point, back in the old days, division to division trades.
The Brewers did trade Broxton to the Cardinals, but difference there, Broxton a free agent at season's end.
Ramirez to the Pirates. But more short term.
It's going to be fun to see how some of these trades work out. Yoenis Cespedes is off to a great start with the Mets, helping them. Carlos Gomez has had a few moments with the Astros as well. Tulowitzki and David Price are the 2 that have had the, I would say, the most impact at this point. Not just on the stats, and Price had a great start his first time out, but just the presence of each. Toronto is smoking hot right now.
Talk about impact players, right? Starter and your shortstop.
No doubt. Tulowitzki's under contract for a long time. There's a called strike 3, a little quick release there.
He sped up the wind up and caught Davis by surprise. A little front door action on the breaking pitch.
That's an old LaTroy Hawkins trick. When you're in the windup, look how fast he goes. It's not a quick pitch. This is totally legal, but just a quick step and catches a hitter off guard. It's not in the normal routine. That's what he does normally with the leg kick. When Villanueva was a Brewer, there was a pitcher here, Mike McClendon, used to do that a lot and was effective. There's a changeup. Villanueva and Giovanni Gallardo came up through the Brewers minor league system, the best of friends. Both had great changeups. Villanueva always kept his, but ended up falling out of the rotation and into the bullpen. Gallardo lost his changeup when he got to the big leagues.
Right. Never found it again. Of course, he's done pretty well without it.
Peterson, for the first time tonight, is retired. Villanueva, another scoreless inning on the board. We go to the 9th inning. Cardinals are coming up. They lead 6-0. By Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Friday night lights at Miller Park. Roof is closed tonight. Some rain in the area. And the Cardinals, with one big inning, lead at 6-0. All 6 of those runs came in the 5th. They batted around that inning. 6 runs on 5 hits off starter Tyler Cravey. Went into the rotation as Kyle Loesch went out, and Loesch pitching in the bullpen here tonight. This is his 2nd relief inning.
Carlos being away by getting an at bat, maybe thinking about picking up a save here. He's got one already this year.
He worked a scoreless 7th and a scoreless 8th. He's faced the minimum.
Pitch 3 innings, you end the game. Doesn't matter what the score is, you get a save.
Certainly saves the bullpen for tomorrow, and if you can use only 2 pitchers, that's what the Brewers did yesterday with Garza and Blazek. Garza went 7. Blazek worked the final 2. Villanueva has carried over the consecutive scoreless inning streak for the Cardinal pitchers to 26. There's a Strike called. Villanueva might as well have been using a plastic bat. He was not about to swing. Remember, Carlos tried to switch hit one year?
Yeah, right.
he really thought he was a good hitter, and he was really trying to sell that to then hitting coach Jim Scalan. And ultimately went over to a right-handed hitter because he couldn't hit left or right, and they figured, well, if you're going to get hit by a pitch, we'd rather hit your left arm, your lead arm.
Yeah, keep your pitching arm out of the way.
Pete Kozma pinch hitting, ground ball in the hole. Here's Segura, long throw. Whoa. Hey, what a play that was.
Nice.
Gene Segura. That is a gem for sure.
And that's what he can do for you. I'm telling you, he might be struggling at the plate, but these are the kind of plays that make you stand up and say he's pretty impressive. He could do some things that surprise you. And look at his throw, off balance, in the air, right on the money, getting Kozma by plenty. That is a big league play at short.
It's a long throw from the hole, and he flipped it right on the nose to Adam Lind. 2 outs for Loesch.
Always seems to be able to get his feet under him and stay on balance and make a good throw. Say that over and over again, but it's so true. Not many can do it.
Center field, Peterson. And Kyle Loesch, 2 scoreless tonight. Good for him. Tough pill to swallow after all these years, but he comes out, does his job. We're headed for the bottom of the 9th.
Hey, the Brewers and Cardinals series continues this weekend with the annual Cerveceros Day tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Before wrapping up the weekend with Bob Uecker Bobblehead Day on Sunday afternoon. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
You know, we're just maybe a day or two removed from the anniversary of the chorizo sausage being unveiled here back in '06. Do you remember that moment?
I remember. I didn't know what day it was.
I think it was just on this day yesterday, maybe.
You remember that?
No, I don't. I wasn't here then. It was before my time. All the sausages were intact when I arrived. The 5.
What? How did you know that?
You know, I did a little homework before the game. I checked on Cerveceros Day, and you know, don't just show up and start talking. You know, hours and hours of preparation.
Yes, we do. Folks in the truck are here, you know, 11 o'clock in the afternoon, getting everything ready. We show up, what, 4 o'clock?
6.
4 o'clock, and we just start flapping our lips. It starts down on the field for batting practice.
It's a 5-part process. Waking up being one of those parts.
You did work hard on the thesaurus yesterday and today. Got any other words for us tonight?
Simplify it for you. Came out a little strong.
That's what I prefer. It's okay.
Segura, take ball.
That pitch had a big break on it, just missed.
Villanueva's got that little borderline ephus curveball. He could throw it slower than he just did. There's that quick release again, and he gets Segura. Boy, that is one rough night. Gene had a great play defensively, but 4 punch-outs tonight. So we look ahead to tomorrow. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Jaime Garcia, the left-hander, against Willie Peralta, who's looking for a bounce back. Remember, tomorrow's game is on Fox Sports 1. Peralta and Garcia.
They have had a good start and then a bad start. Garcia just can't stay healthy for the Cardinals. He's a good lefty. He can pitch. He's had a lot of injuries.
We'll be back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday. Jimmy Nelson and John Lackey for the Sunday day game, and then it's off to Chicago beginning Tuesday. What means of transportation are you going to use to get to Chicago?
The team bus Monday night.
Nice.
You're taking the train?
I think so. The old Hiawatha. Good drive. Train's best.
Yeah.
1 hour 14 minutes. Rock solid.
Don't have to worry about traffic.
Get in the quiet car. Rock likes the quiet car.
No cell phones.
Two to Herrera. In the air to right center field. Hit well. Hayward, though, runs it down. 2 outs. And Carlos Villanueva is an out away from a 3-inning save tonight. Hernan Perez will bat for the first time. If only you could get a mulligan in an inning. Cardinals failed to score in every inning tonight with the exception of the 5th, and they scored 6. And that's all they need. They have back-to-back shutouts, and they have 22nd consecutive scoreless innings on the mound right now. Mike Matheny's Cardinals win it by a final of 6-0. Grichuk had the big hit, a 3-run homer in the 5th. And Lance Lynn now 9-6 with the win. Tyler Cravey takes the loss. Villanueva picks up his second save. Brewers Live coming your way now. Craig Deshawn standing by, your host. Take it away, Craig.
Okay, B.A. Well, we were hoping the Brewers could carry over their offense from yesterday. Did not happen. 10 on Thursday, 0 on Friday. We'll talk about this game here from Craig Counsell and break down Shane Peterson's game next.